Well, another wet and miserable day in the UK. Very glary though. That we have. Oh well, this will be the opening of the video, but the end of the week. I was expecting more to arrive today, but it doesn't look like it's destined. Ooh. Not a good start, is it? Detachable bodywork. The other one's in the way. Well, as you can see, they're not British running stock. I have been after some centre beams and bulkhead cars. Centre beams still have eluded me, but at least I do have now a couple of bulkhead cars. So now I shall be on the look to make a block of balsa wood or something to do with some loads, or maybe find some of those wood pack loads if I can find one at a reasonable price. So we've got a Burlington Northern and a British Columbia. Again, obviously railways have passed, I'm guessing, but you know, you have to get what's available, and this is this is what's available. Obviously there's no accessories for the little stanchions, as we call them, that go in, but they could easily be made. But obviously if they're going to be palletised loads, you wouldn't want them in the way anyway for when they get to the destination and a fork lifted off. Oh, the joys of working with children and animals. I just shut the door to do the filming and he starts whinging and whining to come in. Yes, hello, sit down, or I'll give you a timber surf. Right. This week's mailbag, or today's mailbag, there's not going to be a lot this week. This might be a compilation of 2 weeks worth. I've got some small cable hair, red and black, for LED lighting, house lighting. Obviously it's a lot smaller and easier than figure of 8 speaker cable and stuff like that. It is 7 strands of 0.0 or 0.13mm, so it's quite small. It's very similar sort of size to some of the pre-soldered LEDs. There is one slightly down from this, but I opted for this one, so sort of 30 metres, I think were about £5, so couldn't grumble at that. And I was in town the other day and I wanted to get some more of this, because I bought one from Hobbycraft and I went to use it outside doing some woodworking for wood glue, and it gone. It was a brand new bottle, but it was you know, a couple of months sitting there in the house, and it was literally so thick I could barely get it out of the bottle. And the other one I've had, which I've used on the laser kits to build them, has lasted sort of a couple of 3 years, and I've actually ran out, which is why I bought the replacement, and the replacement's naff. And Hobbycraft didn't have this in stock, and they're not the cheapest in the world, and they also didn't have any of this. Now this is the bigger one, which I looked on Amazon and it was nearly 20 quid. I found someone else on Amazon that was selling it without a 2 quid sponge brush for £10.50 delivered, and £3 something for that. And I couldn't get any epoxy glue. Not quick, you know, cheap and cheerful out of the pound shop, discount shops, none of them had it. So I also had to rely on Amazon for that. So I don't know, maybe there's a world glue shortage. I can't get the bloody thing out of the way now, so the only thing is this cable and the goodies from Amazon. And I did win this, I think it was Friday, which is the platform version of the Ecom, Burco, whatever they are, signals. They look like they're super good because I thought, well, if I get them I can put the longer posts on and use them on the line side, or I haven't got any platform mounted signs, so for some reason it was too much of a challenge to remove them from the Metcalf platform. And the junction arm is snapped, but that was on the description. But I got, I think it was about £4.73 with the shipping, so it was worth a punt. Even if I just used the heads, I was after some 3 aspect and 4 aspect signals, so they ticked the box. Well, stores shed for HMS Heron Naval Dockyard. Well, I think someone had plans for it, other than having it as a engine house. So that's what we've bought. So it don't look like that. Yeah, it's a Hellion kit from Denmark. I've just been through it. I think we're all complete, although there is some mysterious empty sprues that are in the box that don't seem to equate to anything, so unless someone went through it and just chucked them in, I don't know. So I'm just going through it to make sure everything's there that needs to be there. If it is missing the primary component parts that I've seen so far, I can build it. It's only it's a double, but you don't get. What does you do? I did see there's an arch to fill one of these in, but yeah, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, 4 pairs of doors, so you can either, I presume, have it so that it's an in and an out, or close them off. I don't know whether they hinge or they've got to be glued into position. I'll have to cross that bridge when we come to it. Now, obviously, being HO, it's a tad smaller, but I envisage it probably being a sort of town engine shed rather than a mainstay, so it's not going to be housing A-class locomotives. It's going to be the local jobbies. Package 1, I normally read the small print. This time I effed up. They were the right length I wanted, but the problem is they're female both ends and not male. They took a photograph of each side of the plug, which gave you the indication that they were different, and I just, yep, that'll do, that's the size I want, cost money deal. And they're female each end, which is no good to me because I want male connectors. I wanted these for speaker applications and lighting conversions in coaches. These are quite small, as you can see. So I wanted both male and female plugs, so if you take a coach body apart or something, you can just disconnect the 2 halves. Unfortunately, I just have 1 half. I could cut them in half and have 2 7cm leads. Problem is I can't find anyone that just does another pack of male only. You can only get female or male and female, and as yet my search is fruitless as to get another set of males. Well, next is a squashed box. How unusual. Well, that might not be too much of concern if I didn't know what suspect what's inside it is a refinery with some fine pipework coming out the tops of the distillation columns. Let's hope the pipes are still there. Well, I certainly didn't pay that, and well, if you want to scrutinise that, there's some bits missing that aren't missing on this one, although this isn't perfect. I did actually miss out. I looked at the seller's history and they'd sold a few of these even cheaper than what I got this one for. I got this one for 18. I think this is quite an expensive kit. Well, let's say it's German and it's severely overpriced, a bit like their cars. yeah, it's a £60+ kit, I think, or £70. But it does look a bit dated because obviously it's got all the riveted detail, which obviously you wouldn't have nowadays. But yeah, from way back here you can't see it, so when it's in a scene somewhere with my oil tanks, I don't think it's going to be too much of a drama. There is some minor bits of damage, nothing in transit, thankfully. There is this, probably a retort pipe or something, I don't know. Oops. Not a giant sock slick extractor. Yeah, so that should be there. So that can be glued, and there's a minor piece of the handrail there. We might even find Ben lying on the floor with a broken ankle. No, he's not there. He must have been airlifted out. Well, I reckon this will be the last one for the week, because some of the other stuff I won last week has only just had a postage notification that has gone out. Now this was the bargain of the week. I was only after these. They're the Train Tech signal screws, which normally are, if you buy the kit on their own, they're about £5 with a little ladder section. They've been took out, but I've got ladders and I've got the tubing, so I only actually wanted the heads to make some 4 and 3 aspect signal heads up. So it was 99p, but in it was some well wrapped other bits. There's a look, nothing too exciting, just some Hornby bits. Here's a platform with a subway section. I think I've already got one of these kicking about, but you know, this was part and parcel of the job lot. It's from someone I bought from before who was getting a little bit sloppy with their packaging. Things haven't improved. They've basically sandwiched it straight inside the box, so sounds like we've got multiple loose weights again. So the first 3 that survived transportation: a Santa Fe tubular style, so I guess it's a hopper, covered hopper, Census of Agriculture, obviously a grain one with those symbols, same ones we use. Nice weight to this one, no maker's mark, subtle weathering, it's quite good. That's pretty much intact, I think. And this one, which is an old Rio Grande, I think I've got another one of these, so these may get sprayed grey and liveried to another operator or lease company, providing I can find some decals to replace the various data that's put on them. They all need converting to KD or similar couplings. They're all horn and hook. But the other ones, rail box, some I've been after for a while. This is definitely a kit one because I'm familiar with the construction and the bead of glue down the side there to stop them coming out. I thought there was 2 with a loose weight, but that one's not great. It's definitely a little bit mobile. This one I think is a pre-made, and it's got an inbuilt weight underneath. I don't know why they don't spray those black. I don't know whether I can lift that up, but it doesn't really matter, does it? You're not going to see it unless it goes over. For this one, I have managed to break the bead glue and detach the underbody, and that's all still intact. The steps are still there. We've got construction glue, which does not work with steel. Surprise, surprise. You can't melt steel and bond it to plastic. I don't know what these little washers were for, but they were inside it. I don't know. They fit over there, but what purpose they would serve, I'm guessing they may have supposed to have been under because there's a little washer placed there. It could have been the kit version, but it's definitely assembled in England. 4 British pence glued to the weight. Presumably that was enough weight to bring it up to MRNA standards. I would have just put a wheel weight on myself, but I guess it works, so we'll have to get out my Gorilla double-sided tape and glue that one back in place. I don't know whether they use that under there as a packer, because obviously this weight is sitting on those little ribs. I don't know. We'll have a look at it. Easy fix anyway, but just a bit of a pain in the ass having to do it in the first place. And we've got KD boxes, but with the horn and hook gubbins in them, so they'll be changed. So that's it for this one. There is a big one inbound from Hatton's due today, which will doubtless be a separate episode on its own. But I have got some more tastier versions of these coming from Walthers and Athen.